beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, to my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Bobby Dorman. Welcome, everyone. Shh, 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 shh. I'm Richard Reisman, the publisher of the Orange County Business Journal, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to the event today and to congratulate all the nominees. This is one of the best attended entrepreneur events we've ever had, certainly in recent years, as our 24th annual. So let's make the 25th one a special one next year, so I hope you'll come back. And I think after tonight, you'll want to. Please permit me to take a moment to ask you to join me in expressing appreciation. Shh, 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 shh. This is important. We're expressing appreciation to our sponsors. I mean, it's not empty words to say we couldn't put on the event if it weren't for their support of the entrepreneurial community. First, our diamond sponsor, RJI CPAs. Our platinum sponsors, Bridgeford Trust, you can just keep applauding, Commerce West Bank, Falcon, Rappaport, and Beckman, Flagstar Bank, Infinity Bank, PNC Bank, Orange County Community Foundation. Our gold sponsor and my landlord, the Irvine Company. Our silver sponsors, Cal State Fullerton, and I believe the president, Ron Roshan, is here today, and Revitate. And by the way, I believe the mayor of Santa Ana is here today. Valerie, are you here? We're so proud to have the support of these great organizations. And now I'd like to ask Laura Garrett, our associate publisher and our editor, Peter Brennan, to stand and be recognized. There they are. This event is the work of Laura and the advertising department, and the Excellence in Entrepreneurship special report, our weekly magazine, the daily news updates, they're all the work of Peter and his department, and they will be profiling the winners of today's event in our issue, not this coming Monday, but the 31st, a week from Monday. And finally, I always want to take care of everybody and make sure they don't miss a call. Don't forget to put your phones back on at the end of the event. We'll see you in a few minutes. I'll be brief so we can get on with the show. It's my pleasure at this point to introduce Manny Ramirez, Managing Partner at RJI CPAs. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Manny.
Nice song. Okay, here we go. Good afternoon. I would like to officially welcome you all to the annual Excellence in Entrepreneurship Awards luncheon and program presented by the Orange County Business Journal. My name is Manny Ramirez. I am the chairman and one of the international tax partners at RJI International CPAs. RJI is an Orange County-based international CPA firm that has been providing audit, tax, and consulting services to private and publicly traded companies for over 4 decades. Our expertise lies in serving entrepreneurial and innovative businesses with a niche practice in international tax matters. We are affiliated with DFK International, the 7th largest accounting network in the world. They have offices in over 400 offices in over 92 countries, which assists us in serving our clients, which we serve in over 30 countries. We are all here today to recognize just a small snapshot of the tremendous amount of entrepreneurial spirit that is alive and well in Orange County. This year's nominees include 90 of Orange County's finest entrepreneurs. All candidates' names and photos have been scrolling on the screens behind me. And at this time, I would ask all the nominees to please stand and be acknowledged and recognized. Congratulations, and we salute your achievements and wish you continued success. RJI is proud to be the diamond sponsor for today's program. It is my great honor today to introduce today's keynote speaker, a distinguished leader in the real estate investment sector, Mr. Bill Shopoff, President and CEO of Shopoff Realty. Now, I had a chance to meet Bill 2 years ago when he won this award. And the whole time I'm sitting up here and I'm wondering, why isn't Cindy Shopoff up here doing the speech? They say that there's always behind every successful man, there's a strong, brilliant woman. And if you've ever met Cindy, you know that to be the case in Bill's life. Bill has over 45 years of real estate and investment experience, including extensive expertise in the acquisition, development, and sale of new and redeveloped residential and commercial properties throughout the entire United States, as well as partnership structure, debt placement, venture capital, and investment underwriting. Mr. Shopoff has overseen the acquisition of more than 1,000 properties on behalf of various business entities managed by Shopoff Realty Investments, including in excess of 8,000 apartment units and the entitlement of more than 15,000 lots or units of land suitable for single-family or multi-family development, as well as millions of square feet of commercial projects. Additionally, he has undertaken numerous development projects, including high-cube logistic buildings, hospitality, apartments, luxury condominiums, and single-family build-to-rent products. Involved in a number of industry and business associations, Mr. Shopoff is currently the board member of Lambda Alpha International and sits on the board of directors of the Orange County Business Council. In addition, he is a member of the Commercial Investment Real Estate, the Urban Land Institute, the Building Industry Association, and is a certified commercial investment member. Mr. Shopoff is also involved in various collegial councils, being named to the Executive Council of the Real Estate Center at the University of Texas McCombs School of Business. I think you guys say Hookem or something like that. The Executive Council advises faculty and staff on curriculum matters within the University Real Estate Department. He is also a member of the University of California, Irvine Chief Executive Roundtable, which works in concert with local business leaders and university faculty, and is an advisory board member of the UCI Center for Real Estate at Paul Mirage School of Business. In addition to his industry and educational board involvement, Mr. Shopoff is also involved in various nonprofit foundations, including his former role as president of the board of directors for the Central Coast Wine Classic Foundation and a board member of the Global Energy Network International, a nonprofit organized based in San Diego, California. Furthermore, Mr. Shopoff has been at the top has been the top fundraiser for more than 20 years for the AIDS life cycle, a 585-mile bike ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles, which supports San Francisco AIDS Foundation and the Los Angeles LGBT Center. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please join me in welcoming the visionary, Mr. Bill Shopoff.
Wow. I'm not sure I have anything to say after that. I do want to thank my friend Manny Ramirez for your kind introduction, and I also want to thank you and your firm, RJI CPA firm, for your diamond sponsorship for today's event and all the other sponsors. So thank you all. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an incredible honor to be here with you today at the Orange County Business Journal's Excellence in Entrepreneurship Awards. I had the privilege of winning this award 2 years ago. That was a big deal. When Richard called me and said, do you want to come to the keynote? I took a deep breath and said, yeah, I think I can pull this off. So bear with me. I do a fair amount of speaking, but I don't do speaking for crowds this size that frequently, so we'll see how it goes. First, I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the nominees. Each of you represents the spirit of entrepreneurship, taking bold steps, embracing challenges, and turning vision into reality. To be recognized by your peers for your contributions is no small feat, so I applaud you. So let's give them a hand one more time. Standing here today, I reflect on what it truly means to be an entrepreneur. It is often said that entrepreneurship is about turning ideas into reality. But in truth, it's more than that. It's about taking initiative in the face of uncertainty, stepping forward when others hesitate, and understanding that while risk is ever present, so is opportunity. What does it really take to be an entrepreneur? Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Many people think they want it. They certainly see other successful entrepreneurs and they want what you have, but they're not necessarily willing to do it. The reality is it demands a unique mindset, a combination of resilience, adaptability, and an unwavering commitment. It is about working without a net. Even with the best team surrounding us, and I have my team here today, so thank you all for being here. But even with the best team surrounding us, the buck ultimately stops with us, the entrepreneurs. But here's the thing. For those of us who are truly entrepreneurs, we have no choice. It's not just a career path. It's who we are. It's ingrained in our mind and spirit. We see the world differently. Where others see problems, we see opportunities. Where others hesitate, we take action. I believe one of the key roles for entrepreneurs, I've always said, is making the invisible visible, seeing some idea and bringing that idea to reality. So I thought I'd take a little moment to go back and kind of talk about my roots in entrepreneurship and a little personal journey. And for me, the journey began long before I ever signed my first real estate deal. My grandfather was an immigrant from Bulgaria. Came from Bulgaria in the late 19-teens, over 100 years ago. And he came to America and he settled in, of all places, Battle Creek, Michigan, home of Kellogg's, if people know that. He worked as a tailor, he raised a family. I actually never got to meet him, but a great man and somebody that I learned a lot about. But I think the things that were unique is he really decided that he wanted to make a difference when he came to America. Learned the language, actually threw his Bulgarian dictionary away, something that later in life we wished we'd had. My family and I actually traveled to Bulgaria last year, and it was kind of interesting to go back, and people knew our name there, which they don't know here. So it was pretty interesting. But my father and my uncle were the first in that family lineage to go to college. Proof that the American dream was alive and well. And I think that's an example of what each and every one of you here represent today. My parents have always been a great influence in my life. I lost my folks a long, long time ago, but I think about them almost every day and the lessons they've taught me. They taught me the value of hard work, something that's been a foundational element in my life. And a bit about good luck charms, and so I have a watch that my mother gave my father when he went off to World War II, and I'm wearing that watch today. So I wear it for my good luck charm. So Pops is with me today. My father graduated from the University of Michigan after serving as an officer in World War II. He was in the Pacific Theater, did his job there, but then he came back, graduated. He'd met my mom before going to the war. He'd been to college, and they met there at the university. He went off to war. She became a mother. Well, he did not see his son until he returned from the war, a story that many of our parents are familiar with. But he went on to pursue a pretty, regular corporate path. My dad was a finance and accounting guy, very astute with numbers, and he worked his way through the corporate path and finally grew in his career to become a VP at a Fortune 100 company. Now, I'll tell you, that seems pretty good for the son of an immigrant tailor. My dad was not okay with that. He wanted to be an EVP. So he told me later in life, I didn't really feel successful, Bill. Unfortunate for him, because I thought he was a super wise man. A bit difficult, but a great guy. I could use another word, but in a smaller audience. I, too, was expected to follow that traditional path, go to college. In my case, my dad had said each of my three brothers and I were going to go get a graduate degree, not just go to college, because he thought that's the thing that held him back. Not that he was really held back that far. And then go find a secure job. But life had other plans for me. My original pathway in college, I was going to become the next Jacques Cousteau. So I actually have a degree in marine biology from the University of Texas. And after graduating from UT in 3 years, I got accepted to graduate school at our arch rival, Texas A&M. For anybody that knows, that's like going to, that'd be like going from USC to UCLA or maybe something worse. And I got accepted, and I was literally weeks away, and at the last moment, I decided that wasn't my pathway. It wasn't my calling in life. And I pivoted to business, got accepted into the MBA program, and decided I was going to follow my father's and my brother's path in the business world. Then something unexpected happened. A friend of mine approached me and suggested that I get a real estate license while I was going to college and join him selling and leasing real estate part-time. He's like, look, it's a flexible job. You can fit your own hours, and you can make some good money part-time. Little did I know that decision would change my life forever. I never thought about being in the real estate business. It was never part of my business strategy. And even when I got that license, I never thought I'd be sitting here today. It was just a stepping stone. When I graduated, I began to interview for jobs in finance and accounting that I'd trained for. My dream job really was to get a position in corporate finance with a Wall Street firm. That didn't quite work out. I did get some interviews. I actually got an offer to be a bond trader with Goldman Sachs, but they wanted me to go to Houston, Texas, and my wife at the time was a New Yorker. She was like, we're just not going to Houston. It's not happening. So, sometimes things work out differently. So I got a couple of job offers locally, and the pay was less than I was earning part-time as a real estate broker. And I was like, okay, here's another pivotal moment in life. It forced me to make a decision, one that every entrepreneur faces at some point. Stay on the safe path or make a bet on yourself. I chose the latter. I'm going to go back even a little bit earlier and share a little bit about my really early business lessons. Like many of you, my entrepreneurial spirit started early. At 12 years old, I had this great idea. I went to my father's office and printed, meaning mimeographed, some flyers, and went around the neighborhood and got hired to mow lawns. The first family that hired me happened to have like an acre yard, and it was St. Augustine grass. If anybody knows Texas or anyplace else, it's some really thick, difficult grass. And I only had a rotary push mower. So for the younger crowd, look it up on the internet. There was no motor on it. It was human power. And before I was done, my blisters had blisters. It was a painful experience in the hot Texas sun. And my friends would come by, because it took me all day to do it. My friends would come by and rib me, and they're like, why don't you just quit? Like, it's not a big deal. I was like, well, I made an agreement. It was fairly simple. And, in our house, you weren't quitters. If you started something, you kept going. So along with mowing lawns, I decided to clean pools. And through those businesses, I learned firsthand the value of salesmanship, customer service, reliability, and hard work. I also learned the reliability of non-taxable income. So by the time I was 15, just before I turned 16, I've actually only had one actual job from anybody else where I received a paycheck. And when I was 15, my dad decided I should get a quote-unquote real job, one where I had responsibilities to others and had a manager and had to go take a step to do things. So I'd been actually making really good money. I had probably relative to my expenditures, I probably had more money in savings then than I do today. So, because I had a pretty good savings account then. But I took the suggestion that my father made, and he arranged for me to get a job at the aviation department for the corporation that he worked for in Dallas, Dresser Industries. And they owned a fleet of corporate jets, and I was like, well, this is going to be cool. Then I found out that I thought it was hot mowing lawns. It was really hot doing the work that they got me to do. Because what they gave me was all the jobs that nobody else wanted to do. So I started out cleaning airplanes. And when I say cleaning airplanes, you know, I started with cleaning the lavatories off of corporate jets. This is not a pretty job, let me tell you. And then I also, when the planes would land in Dallas, on that hot tarmac, on that you know, the tar would throw up on the bottom of the wings and flaps. So one of my jobs was to sit on like the roller cart and scrub that tar off of the bottom of those planes, using chemicals that probably 15-year-olds would be illegal to be using. But I did it. In what it did for me, you know, the first thing I did is I won the praise of my peers. You know, these guys had been used to, you know, bosses' sons coming there and kind of goofing off for the summer, collecting a paycheck, which, by the way, was not very good. I went from making like $15 an hour mowing lawns to making $1.75 an hour in the real job. So I kept mowing lawns. I kept doing them, but I did what I needed to do. But, you know, I just wasn't just another one of the boss's sons there to goof off for the summer. I learned to carry my load, and I gained the respect and actually friendship of those folks. And it was really a remarkable time for me. What it led to is I actually ended up with a very cool job, probably the coolest job of my life. Well, I've only had one job. But I ended up becoming a flight attendant on a corporate jet fleet. And I did that for a couple of years. It's like one of Bill Shopoff's little known secrets. The experience turned out to be invaluable, not only because I got to travel in a lot of very cool places. I did all over the United States. I've been to every state in the Union, traveled to Mexico City almost monthly, got to go to South America and a lot of other places. But I think really the cool part of it, and I probably didn't realize it at the time, was the exposure to the high-level executives in the world of business in an up-close and personal fashion, spending hours in a very small tube with people doing very sophisticated business. And I didn't realize really until years later the amount of mentoring that I received at that time. There were moments on the plane where I would literally be with just the chairman of the board or the president. And because they knew me, I'd grown up around them, you know, they would do their work, I would serve them, I'd wait on them, I'd give them their meal, I'd give them their drinks. And when they were done, occasionally they would summon me over to sit with them and be schooled in the ways of the world. In fact, I remember Jack James, the president of the company, telling me about getting thrown out of the White House one time. These are pretty unique stories to learn. So it was really a very cool deal. Entrepreneurship just isn't about hard work, it's about vision. It's about seeing what others don't see and believing in something that's there before there's proof. So immediately after getting my MBA, I started a brokerage and development firm. Little did I know I shouldn't know any better. I did my first few subdivisions, I built some homes, I did brokerage work, and I learned some hard lessons. Before age 30, I had made and lost a fortune. It was humbling. Then my wife, at the time, suggested I get a job, something stable, like using my accounting background, and go work for the state. That seemed like the wrong pathway for me. It was worse than that. I thought that would be, sorry about the accountants in the room, but that would have been death for me, to go work for the state. And I got great friends. I got other good friends. Ahmed Hamdi, another great accounting friend of mine. I found a few accountants who have personalities. So, you know, it was just the wrong pathway. So I stayed the course. Maybe not with her, but I stayed the course. And it really, actually, the decision for me to stay an entrepreneur and the financial, decisions I'd made were really what led to our parting ways. Along the way, I was fortunate to find my partner in business and life, Cindy Shopoff, who's been acknowledged before, but I'm going to acknowledge her again. She's been my biggest supporter. And without her, I wouldn't have been able to make it through the good times or the hard times. I owe her a daily debt of gratitude, and she could easily be standing up here instead of me, because our business would not be what it was if she had not stood by me for the last, we've been together 38 years this year, 38 years. So I took the mindset, I continued to take that mindset into real estate after some learning experiences. And in 1992, I founded the first Keller Williams commercial franchise in America. Cindy had actually trained with Gary Keller and Joe Williams. I was forming a partnership with one of their top agents. And so we not only opened an office, but actually Gary Keller gave us the national franchise rights to Keller Williams Commercial. It was kind of a cool gift. Unfortunately for Gary and maybe for me, about 4 months later, I co-founded an investment firm originally called Asset Recovery Fund, now the business that I'm here today representing, Shopoff Realty Investments, 33 years later. It's pretty cool. My 3 partners and I got together, decided we wanted to do this business. We each put $250 in the kitty. Not because that's what we needed. We just knew that that was the check that could clear for each of the 4 of us. And we began acquiring distressed debt and opportunistic properties around the United States. And I really learned a lot about value in real estate in a lot of markets. And I think over the term, I'll probably be wrong on this, but I think we've done business in 25 different states, originally based in Austin. In 1995, we acquired a portfolio of assets here in California. I have to say I knew nothing about California. I'd been to the beach here. I'd never been inland California. I didn't know that when you're going to the IE, you could fly to Ontario. And I literally flew in late one night into Los Angeles, and I drove by, and I was like, shit, there's another airport here I could have flown into. So I didn't really know a lot about it, but we figured out, and we bought that portfolio, and we went on to buy some more properties here in Orange County. We ended up buying about 4,000 acres here in Orange County. And I was still in Austin. It was being run for me by a gentleman who'd had some California exposure, and so he really knew it, and he was running it for us. He liked my business so much that he decided to make it his business, and he ended up stealing from me, and I caught him. And that was in 1998. As a matter of fact, I was at my friend Steve Grome's office when I realized what had happened to me. Over the next 3 years, I commuted back and forth from Austin to Orange County, while trying to manage business and a family life on the road, trying to figure out the assets that we owned here in California, which I didn't really know a lot about. And I would show up in development meetings and be completely humbled because I didn't know the terminology here, because it was different than the terminology in Texas. And I would literally write all the acronyms in the margin of my notepad and go ask people afterwards, because I couldn't do it in front of the room of the consultants, because that would shame me. So and there wasn't the internet, like I couldn't go do that. So I found a trusted confidant, and I'd say, great, what's an EIR? What's CEQA? What do these things mean? And it worked. I managed to figure it out, and I managed to figure the business out over time. I was lucky enough to get a couple of great folks to work with me that really helped me learn that business. But I have to say that commute back and forth was somewhere between not easy and brutal. Cindy and our 2 children, supported me as best they could, but they were not pleased. But they finally decided to move to Orange County, which we did in January of 2001. Oh, by the way, side note, the gentleman that stole from me did get to take a little time out of the federal penitentiary, so there is some justice. And candidly, he would have made more money if he hadn't stolen from me, just from what he would have earned. But that's not to be. Over the next few years, the business prospered, but sometimes happens, partners come and go. We bought a couple of them out, got down to just myself and one partner. And in 2004, I made the hardest and most important decision of my career. I bought out the last of my partners because I knew I needed to do it not just for myself, but for my family and our future. I needed to really determine, was I as good as I thought I was? And could I do this on my own? And with Cindy, of course. And in the initial meeting, I actually went to my partner. I'd known him since college, and went to propose a buyout. And he was like, I'm not really interested in selling. And I said, look, Vic, we got to get out of business before we get out of friendship. And to this day, we remain friends. So I think we accomplished that. I probably overpaid him, but I felt good about the decision. I don't want to really delve too much. I was really not going to talk too much about like day-to-day real estate that I do. That's out there in the press. You guys cover it really well. I think there's another acquisition that we made that'll be in the paper next week. So, but I'll tell a couple of quick stories. Probably the project that really put us on the map is our Uptown Newport project, at least here in Orange County. We'd done big projects out in the EIE, but in 2010, we bought a 25-acre site not far from here that was formerly Rockwell, Connexent, and was currently operating then as Jazz, now Tower. And I tied that deal up with a $100 check. I think it was a $28 million deal. I got it renegotiated down to $23.5 million. I called everybody under the sun in 2010 to try to raise the capital for that deal. It was over 60 private equity firms and high net worth and family offices, at least 60. And I got a lot of no's. I got all no's. I got a couple people who said yes, and then they became a no. I would literally come home and, I don't know that I cried, but it came pretty close to crying. Maybe I did cry. Because I would tell Cindy, I said, it's the best piece of real estate I've had my hands on in my career. But coming out of the great financial crisis, I couldn't convince people that they should invest in it. I'm pleased to say that investment's probably been the single biggest investment that I've made in my life, and probably will be the single biggest contributor to the net worth from my family for generations to come. So sometimes you just have to go against adversity. And if you understand the facts of what your business is, no matter how many smart people don't listen to you, maybe they're just not seeing the world the way you see the world. So each one of you is past that moment when you've tried to create that business that others didn't see, and you've accomplished that. So it's just, look, if it was any easier, everybody would do it. If any harder, nobody would do it. So look, challenges and growth. Building a business is never a straight line. There are moments of uncertainty, times when deals fell through, markets shifted, like the last couple of years. Obstacles seemed insurmountable, sometimes like the last few days. But every entrepreneur in this room knows that setbacks are not failures. They are lessons. They are the stepping stones to bigger successes. Over the years, I've expanded into areas I've never expected. We went from land entitlement to land development. We're in the construction business. We're building apartments. We're building build-to-rent. We built a luxury condo project. I'm in the hospitality space. And then I got this great idea. I'm in the trash and recycling business in North Dakota. In fact, I bought 220 miles of the pipeline that was supposed to be in the Keystone pipeline, and my partner bought it to scrap it, and I was like, hell with that. I actually called one of the prior winners, and who was in the recycling business, and he said, no, sell that, you'll find a buyer. And we found a buyer for 10 times what we paid for it. So sometimes you just have to believe in yourself. My partner was like, no way, nobody's gonna do that. So look, these things are just the pathway where you get to where you are. I'm also in the biofuel space. And it doesn't matter whether I'm in real estate, recycling, sustainable aviation fuel. The core principle is always the same. Find a niche, innovate, and create value. Create value for your customers, create value for your employees. So what makes a great entrepreneur? What are the key factors that separates successful entrepreneurs from the rest? I came up with a few key qualities that I believe many or most in this room share. Hard work and determination. There are no shortcuts. Adaptability. Markets will change, the economy will shift. You, the entrepreneur, must evolve. Perseverance. This one's probably the number one. the ability to keep going when things get tough. When 60 people said no, I had to keep calling. Curiosity and innovation. Entrepreneurs see the world differently. We ask what if and why not. And passion. If you don't love what you do, you won't last. You won't make it through those tough times. Courage to take risks. Every great success begins with a risk. It's your time to take it. If my journey has taught me anything, and I'll go back to my family roots, it's this. The American dream is still alive and well. I have a lot of people tell me they don't believe it can happen anymore. But you people are living proof of it. You guys some of you came from means, some of you came from no means. But you've created a great success, and you do your family and your business associates proud. It's not about where you come from, but where you're willing to go. It's about taking risks, pushing boundaries, and believing in yourself when no one else does. As entrepreneurs, we don't just build businesses, we build futures. We create opportunities not just for ourselves, but for our employees, our families, our communities, and the generations to come. So to all the nominees and entrepreneurs in the room, keep going, keep innovating, keep pushing. The world needs what you have to offer. Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
A lot of gems in there. Some of them are universal. And we've heard stories before. It's just so hard to do when you're in the moment, when everyone else fears, when everyone else is fearful of going forward, and you're the one that does. That's usually where the value comes from, and that's what Bill was talking about with the Jamboree property that he purchased in 2010. And some are closer to home, like Manny mentioned he met Bill at this event. Bill said that it was someone he met here that he talked to that made the Dakota transaction take place. So if you haven't met anybody yet, when you leave, meet somebody, because it's going to be meaningful. This is a good place to do that. And now to expedite the program, I'm going to introduce all of the presenters at once, and then we're going to go through the presentations of our 5 winners one after the other. I'm going to introduce Victor Guerrero, the President and Chief Operating Officer of Infinity Bank, Matt Klingbeil, Senior Vice President, Relationship Manager, PNC Bank, Shelley Haas, the Chief Executive Officer of the Orange County Community Foundation, Jeffrey Verdon, the partner in Falcon, Rappaport, and Berkman, Michael Aceves, Group Manager, Regional and Corporate Commercial Banking, Flagstar Bank. And with that, let me introduce Victor to start the program. He's over there.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Bill, for sharing that today. My hands started hurting when you were telling that mowing story. But it is a great privilege to meet all of the entrepreneurs here. And if I have not yet had a chance to meet you, I would love to meet you when the time works for you. One of the things that I really enjoy about meeting everyone, of course, is hearing about the victories that you have, the challenges that you overcome. And I get great advice from you as well. In fact, I'm reminded of advice that the late, great Betty White gave us of saying, make sure that you get 8 hours of beauty sleep every night, 9 if you're ugly. I get 10, so that's not good. But today is not about me, and it's not about Infinity Bank, it's about you. And so I get the privilege of getting to present the first award today to an entrepreneur who took over the business from his father who started it. When he took this business over, they had 20 clients. They don't call them clients, but they also had just a couple $100,000 in revenue, and they only had 1 location here in Orange County. And when I met this entrepreneur, I asked him, tell me a little bit about what it is that got you started, that shifted the organization from where it was when you took it over to where it is today. And he said, the first thing I worked on was getting credibility. So I connected myself with an association that establishes credibility for my industry, and then I surrounded myself with smart people, and then it just took off. And so from that point, he's gone from just having a couple $100,000 in revenue today having over $70 million of revenue. They've connected themselves with some of our most important companies here in Orange County, like Ingram Micro and Edward Life Sciences. They've also associated themselves with Tech Coast Angels and have helped raise over $1 million with startup companies. And they have not clients, but students, over 7,000 students from 130 different countries, and have given away millions of dollars in financial aid and scholarships, as well as to their nonprofit giving. And they've done all of this in just a matter of time of 12 short years. So I would like to present to you our first award winner today, Dr. Anthony Lee of Westcliff University.
Wow, I really wasn't expecting that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Richard Reisman, Orange County Business Journal. Thank you, Victor Guerrero from Infinity Bank. Michael from Flagstar as well, taking the time to interview me. I'm really blown away. You know, I've actually been at this, if you believe it or not, for over 18 years, working in education, following my dad's footsteps. A lot of the things that our keynote speaker, Bill, mentioned today about how the big influence his father had on him. My father had a huge influence on me. He was a big, successful entrepreneur in Vietnam. He gave up everything after the war, came here and started with nothing, and had to build everything up again. Westcliff University was one of his several ventures that he was in. And when I graduated from my business school, he was like, hey, you need to take it over or I'm gonna close it down. We had 20 students. I didn't embrace it at first, but I feel so blessed, so fortunate to be able to take this university from where it was then to where it is now. I'm fortunate to be in the business of education. We're talking about creating opportunities. We're building the future leaders of tomorrow, and to make sure that they have the entrepreneurial mindset, they have the right learning environment, and that they're successful. And what does that mean? That they get jobs and they give back to their communities. And Victor spoke about over 130 countries represented. That's the impact that I'm so proud of. All of our students, once they graduated from Westcliff University, they're going back to their communities, whether it's Orange County, Southern California, or 130 countries around the world. And that kind of impact, I don't know if you can do that in any other type of organization. I'm just so proud of that. I want to say thank you. Number one, to my team. They're here. Please stand up. Please stand up, everybody. As an entrepreneur, you know, Victor said it best. I mean, I have to surround myself with great people, right? I don't know everything. I'm to the point where I probably get too much feedback. And over the years, I have to tell myself, hey, have some confidence in your own gut instinct, right? To that extent. But I think that's what my team appreciates, and that's the reason we're successful, right? You have to get everybody's input. You might have some blind spots that you don't know about, so you have to seek that out. And then when you gather all the data together, as the entrepreneur, as a CEO, you try to make the best decision for the organization. And fortunately, we've been successful at that. But the last person I want to thank is my beautiful wife, Linda. She's here as well, if you can stand. Yeah. Everything Bill said earlier really resonated. My father, my wife, she's been through so much with me. I still remember working long nights, and she supported me through it, right? And I'm just so happy now that I have such a great team, and I don't have to work as hard. And that gives me time for my family. I have 3 little ones at home. I just had a newborn that came 2 months ago, so I feel blessed. I feel fortunate. I just want to say thank you to everyone, and then congratulations to all the nominees and all the finalists. Thank you for honoring me. It means a lot.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Matt Klingbeil with PNC Bank's Commercial Banking Group here in Orange County. It's an honor to be here celebrating all of these impressive entrepreneurs. Great entrepreneurs drive this economy forward. They create jobs, they generate tax revenue, and contribute to the broader economic growth of our country. Their impact is far-reaching, shaping not only the business community, but also the daily lives of the people who live and work here. At PNC, we take great pride in supporting businesses that strengthen the communities we serve. As members of this community ourselves, raising our families and sending our kids to school here, we see firsthand the vital role businesses play in shaping Orange County's future. Today, we celebrate an entrepreneur who exemplifies the spirit of creating a stronger environment for the community. Someone whose leadership has not only grown their business, but also strengthened the community around them. Traffic safety is something we often take for granted, but behind every orange drum, barricade, and bright construction sign is a company dedicated to keeping our roads safe. Our winner leads a company who's been an innovator in highway safety for nearly 40 years, manufacturing durable, high-quality products for the construction, traffic control, and transportation industries. But today's award isn't just about a product. It's about the visionary leader behind it. Our winners spent their career in the company their parents founded in 1987, working their way up through the ranks to understand every aspect of their business. In 2020, when they took over as president, they carried forward their father's legacy while leading the company into a new era of growth and innovation. Under their leadership, the company not only achieved double-digit growth in both top and bottom lines, but has prioritized sustainability and corporate responsibility. Their commitment to environmental stewardship has led to nationwide factory initiatives that have reduced the company's carbon footprint by nearly 20% and have diverted over 13 million pounds of rubber from landfills through recycling efforts. Balancing success with social and environmental impact is no small task, yet they've done it with vision and purpose, all while making our roadways safer. It is my great honor to introduce our next award winner, Brent Kulp of TrafFix Devices.
Wow, I did not expect that. I didn't even prepare a speech, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. But I really enjoyed Bill's keynote speech today. I can relate to so many things that he said. I also had a lawn that I mowed that had St. Augustine grass, so I do share those blisters as well. And it was funny because the company, when we started the company in '87, we actually started at my parents' house. And the main office was my old bedroom, actually. So it's been a really, really interesting journey. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work, as a lot of people have said, a lot of risk taking, and it's been a really, really enjoyable ride. But I just want to thank the Orange County Business Journal for this wonderful nomination and this award. I'm humbled, and it's not me, it's our team that makes this happen. And as the previous award winner has said, you want to want to surround yourself with good quality people that have great ideas, and it's the team that makes it happen. It's not one person, it's a team, and everybody bouncing ideas off each other, and some ideas are good and some ideas are not so good, but you have to sometimes say, let's push forward with that and see if we can make a product and make it sell and get it to, get it out in the highway and hopefully save some lives while we're doing it. So I appreciate this award. I appreciate everybody in the wonderful nomination, and I think that's it. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. What a great room and uplifting moment to have together. I'm Shelley Haas, and it's been my blessing and honor to serve at the helm of the Orange County Community Foundation for the last 25 years, where we get to serve at the right at the epicenter of our community's most innovative and generous philanthropists. I see Rick Muth and Scott and Karen Green and Tam Wynn and a whole bunch of really beautiful, generous people we get to work with. And yeah, I'll second the woo, whoever gave that out. And pair them in our own work with our most extraordinary nonprofit leaders. Can't miss looking right at Julie Hudash from Team Kids and Scott Hayes from OC World. We have an incredible, yes, we should clap for the for the extraordinary Orange County nonprofit community and the philanthropists who support them. And we get the incredible privilege of walking that journey alongside both sides of the giving equation, and to help propel their impact in Orange County, across our beloved country and the world. I am bursting with enthusiasm for the honor of introducing this awardee to you today. He arrived in California in 1980 with only $20, a suitcase, and his beloved clarinet in hand, in search of the American dream that he loves to this day. He had not a single connection, very little English, and unsurprisingly, his first 20 interviews resulted in 20 rejections, until the owners of the iconic Yenching restaurant in Orange, who has had a lot of meals at Yenching, it's closed now, but it's an iconic Orange restaurant, gave our honoree his first chance. Devastatingly suffered a kitchen accident, and that dashed his musical dreams, could no longer play his clarinet, but his faith and resilience gave rise to one of the greatest success stories in American entrepreneurship. He went on to open a series of restaurants, culminating in the founding of Pickup Sticks, which I know every single one of us has enjoyed. I raised my kid on house special chicken, and he's doing just fine at almost 22. So that later expanded to over 100 locations, 3,700 employees before its sale in 2001, but he wasn't done yet. So deeply grateful for all the opportunity he's been given in our country. Our honoree wanted to focus on giving back, so he founded Zion Enterprises, reflecting his deep faith, to continue with real estate development, focused on revitalizing local communities and enhancing his investors' value. His commitment to our community is profound, and he has dedicated philanthropic work focused on the arts and education, even founding a nonprofit, OC Music and Dance, to give opportunity to young people who wouldn't otherwise have access to arts education. On the cusp of very exciting and new announcement and move to the Great Park. With his beloved wife, he has made generous gifts to Cal State Fullerton, the Richard Nixon Library and Museum, where he serves on the board, and more than 80 local nonprofits. In recognition of his many contributions to our community, he was honored with the 2024 Lifetime Achievement Award from Concordia University for his commitment to higher education and the arts. I bet you know what name I'm about to say. I am so thrilled to recognize Charlie Zhang's journey from his humble beginnings to his extraordinary success. He has a lot of friends, so it's going to take him a minute to make his way down here.
Thank you so very much. You know, I'm very honored and pleased to be here with you. You know, this community is unbelievable. We're so loved. There's so many business leaders, entrepreneurs. You hear this lunchtime, we are the family. You know, this award, you have 90 nominees. You're a great leader. You all deserve it. So I'm just the lucky one to got it. But this is representing every one of a piece. You're the portion, we're the family. God really blessed me and my family. And for 45 years, I'm here, continue building, fighting, never ever gave up. So I want to thank you for everyone. Again, the beautiful lady behind me for 40 years this year. Ling right there, table 20. Thank you. My job not done until my last breath. We continue want to fighting, give back to the community. Everything I got it. That's American dream all about. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you.
Hello. I'm going to go off script for just a second. Bill, that was an amazing story. You know, I've known Bill, I don't know, 10 years or so. I've had the honor to be his attorney, one of his attorneys, and got to know the family. And you haven't heard half the story. You know, in between Bill's successes, there were some challenging times, and you and your wife, tough as boot leather. I mean, you really tackled it and with grace and aplomb, and you deserved every bit of recognition today, so congratulations. This is our 9th year supporting this esteemed award. My name is Jeffrey Verdun, and I chair the Asset Protection Planning Group of our law firm. If you've seen our ads or read my articles in the Orange County Business Journal, you know us as the law firm dedicated to safeguarding the treasure of our Orange County's affluent families and the businesses. I'd like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to introduce my firm and the work we do. We are excited to demonstrate our dedication to the legal needs in the community through our professionalism and concierge-style client service. At FRB, our 75 skilled lawyers and 40 or more support team members located in both California and New York possess a diverse set of legal expertise in various practice areas, including advanced estate planning, which is what I do, and asset protection planning. We are devoted to achieving optimal outcomes for our clients by the relentless pursuit of excellence and upholding the law with an unwavering commitment. And now it's my distinct honor to introduce our next winner. Co-founded in 2017, our winner is the CEO of a leading credit card payments technology company that enhances patients' access to important healthcare through financing and subscription point-of-sale platforms. Under his leadership, this winner has his team helped 320,000 patients qualify for over $3 billion in much-needed medical procedure costs. The firm now operates in all 50 states with a partnership customer network of over 5,000 medical providers, generating company revenues in excess of $100 million. Our winner is homegrown, born and raised here in Southern California. He earned his Bachelor in Science from USC and his MBA from Yale University. Pretty good pedigree. After a 3-year stint on Wall Street at JP Morgan, our winner returned home to a position serving as Senior Vice President and Head of Operations at Alpheon Credit, located here in Irvine. But when COVID closed the doctor's offices for an extended period of time, the company's revenue suffered, and our winner had to find creative ways to keep the company afloat. With grit and determination and a dedicated team, along with some good fortune, our winner came out the other side leaner and meaner than ever, confident he could overcome any adversity. Giving back to the community, our winner serves on the board of Southern California YPO, Orange County's Sheriff's Advisory Board, Orange County Yale Alumni Association, and regularly volunteers to the Boys and Girls Club of Orange County and Harvester Bank of Orange County. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me give a warm congratulatory welcome to our winner, Mr. Todd Watts, CEO and co-founder of PatientFi. Todd, come on up.
Wow, what an honor. First off, thank you so much to the judges and getting me to do this again in the Orange County Business Journal. For those that, I think we applied to this award a few times. I remember sitting several years ago in the audience, and PatientFi was just getting started, and I remember thinking, geez, if I can just one day get up there on stage, all my problems are gonna go away. And I think that, for those that are in my shoes back then, the truth is they don't go away. They just get bigger. But it's a story that and creates a mosaic of memories that, and I think you heard it from Bill and others, that it takes grit. You have to be able to compartmentalize a lot and be able to kind of break through walls and walls over and over again. But man, it's as it continues to grow and you can remember to enjoy the journey, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So before I jump off the stage, there was one person that I brought today in particular, and he was like, what am I doing here? But he was the first employee that we hired, and he's now running all of our product. You're not going to be able to miss him because he's probably the tallest guy in the room, but if Derek Hill can stand up, and everybody give him a round of applause. I was going to bring him on stage with me, but I don't want the pictures to make me look like I'm a midget. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'll be here all night. Thank you to my family, my father-in-law, Rick Muth, who's an entrepreneur himself. But I hope that there's more technology companies and entrepreneurs in Orange County. It's an expensive place to live, so it can be difficult to recruit. But man, we've been able to get a lot of local residents, and it's been something that I'll cherish over the last 8 years, and we're going to keep going. So thank you, everybody, for coming and your support, and congratulations to the other nominees as well. Thanks so much.
Where's the stuff with it? Your year. This is your year.
Before I get started, just thank you for waiting for me. So, and your bonus is that my presentation is only 20 minutes long. So good afternoon, I'm Micah Sevis, Managing Director of Flagstar Bank, overseeing the commercial and corporate group in Southern California. We are probably one of the banks you've never really heard of, but we are the 15th largest bank in the country with $100 billion in assets and over 400 branches nationwide. Flagstar is a good old-fashioned bank. We provide relationship banking by senior commercial lenders. The team and I are very proud to be here and honor all of the nominees. Now, I had the privilege of interviewing a nominee who's uniquely impressive. Within moments of our meeting, I could easily see how this company is so successful. This person is a leader with a vision that is transparent to his employees. This nominee gets up before the rooster, imagine that, heads into the office and leads by example. After a day of talking to clients, coaching, mentoring, strategizing, he finishes the day with a rigid workout. Now, the benefits of being a judge is you get to meet so many amazing people, but there is a bit of a downside. After meeting with this candidate, I was realizing, man, I don't work hard enough. The good thing is my boss isn't here. After the tour of the offices, we sat down in his conference room, and some of you may know I like to talk a bit. However, after sitting with him, I immediately realized that it was my turn to just sit and simply listen. I heard of a father who had a strong work ethic, who always told his son, whatever you do, just do it great. This company was started 8 years ago and now has over 300 employees, and year-over-year sales growth averages about 30%. This was all achieved by a Cal State grad competing against the large players in the technology markets. The company is a certified partner of Microsoft, filling the gaps by raising the bar with excellence in customer service, negotiating licensing agreements, reducing costs, and helping with the efficiencies of their clients. Based on his father's principles, this leader drives his team, but elevates his employees, maintaining a strong culture. All great companies have a great leader, and it's my pleasure to introduce Julian Hamood of Future Tech Team.
Wow, thank you. Starting with Rich, your impact to this community is unmeasurable, and my friendship with you is extremely valuable, and I can't thank you enough for getting us in front of all these entrepreneurs. And secondly, these sponsors. In short order, my relationship with, I think I hosted almost every sponsor in my office, and it's been an absolute game changer in just weeks for the impact that the quality of the sponsors have brought to Trusted Tech Team. So thank you for that as well. Thank you to my team. I am standing here on behalf of what you have assisted me in doing, and I could not be up here without you. Thank you to my family, my mom and dad. I'll give a little story on them after. My brother and my fiance that's helped me every single day through just battles. It's been 8 years since I started the company. I started at 25 years old. My parents came from Lebanon when they were 23 and 17. They met at a grocery store. They moved to Miami, Seattle, had my brother and I in Brea. We were raised in the city of Orange, went to public school. My dad had 2 kids going to college. It was tough for him. He was extremely frugal. He would do the Cadillac courtesy vehicle leases at like $250 a month, and we had a house in Orange. We were comfortable, and he never showed any signs of distress, even going through the recession. Put us both through Cal State Fullerton. It was $3,300 semester, and we could definitely, he never said it, but we could feel the impact when we were both going to school. When I was 25 years old, again, I started Trusted Tech Team. I lived at home until I was 28 years old. We were doing 20 million in revenue, 3 million in EBITDA. Was still living at mom and dad's house. My mom was cooking for me every night. She would measure my macros. I was working out, and then she would show me a book of, okay, this is where your macros are at for the day.
Fast forward, yeah, we have 300 employees. We have 50 in the UK. We have over 6,000 square feet. Smack dab right in Soho. 250 employees. On the UCI campus, we have 31,000 square feet right off the 73 in Bison. We just surpassed $340 million worth of revenue in our 8th year of operation. Yeah. All in all, yeah, I cannot thank you guys enough. YPO as well, I'm in the Cal Coast chapter. Scott Green from Rise Higher and Oscar Ma, you've been a mentor. You have been one of my best friends in business and in life. His amazing wife, Karen, and this entire community has just been so amazing. We live in the best place in the world, guys, and super thankful to be here in front of all you guys as well. And again, the nominees here, everyone deserves an award here. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
What can I say? The quality of the nominees this year were extraordinary, and you can see from the winners, and you can see that many of the winners have been up before, and they didn't, as impressive as they are, they were overlooked in past years. So for those of you who are nominees this year, next year is your year, so make sure you come back. Let me ask Bill to step back up. We have a token of our appreciation. And even though it's like a block away, thank you to the Surf and Sand Resort for making Bill's staycation possible. Well, we can't do this without a great staff, so let me recognize Tiffany Benando, Ellie Torres, Jamie Derby, Amanda Dang, Summer Bowles, my assistant Anushka Bryson, Mia Lories, Bobby Dorman, who you heard singing, Kim Lopez, Corinne Decker, Shelley Asher, and Steve Gall. And thank you to the vendors who are listed in the program. Let's give them a hand, please. And now, just over here, may I ask all the winners to step to the right of the stage for photographs at the end of the program. And finally, look at the back cover of your program, because if there's an orange sticker on the back cover, you see those beautiful flowers on your table? You get to take those home. And I hope to see you all next year. Thank you so much for being here.